Hey guys, please excuse my bald looking appearance because I have my hair pulled back and I always think it's gonna look so damn cute. But then I get on camera and I'm like, girl, what were you thinking? Bear with me because today I am doing a review on the new BECCA Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation. You guys don't have any idea how scared I was to just hold that up, and I've been using it for a while now, so I wanted to give you guys my thoughts as well as swatches of the entire shade range and tell you guys more about it, so stay tuned if you're interested. So I got this surprise package way back in December right before Christmas, and I have never tried a BECCA foundation before, so I was so excited because they became one of my favorite brands. And what it says is that this foundation is the key to iconic, glowing, perfected skin that looks like skin. So for starters, it retails for $44, which is a pretty good price in my opinion for foundation. It is not at the highest end of the market, but it's not at the lowest. The packaging is absolutely gorgeous. It's in this frosted glass bottle here, and it has the name on it. And what you do is you shake up this formula because this formula is very liquidy and watery. And then you will twist the cap and so that this top here pops up. You'll unscrew it, and once you unscrew it, there is a dropper, and basically you will push down on this top here and product will come out. Personally, I find the amount that comes into the dropper is too much for me, even for a full face, but I find I use maybe about half of what is sucked up in the dropper. Now, if I could say one thing that's kind of a downer, although there are 8 shades in the collection and I thought I would automatically be tan or warm honey, the tan and the warm honey shades, I find them quite deep, and this foundation does oxidize or almost warm up to your skin. So when you test this foundation, you do not want to test it on the back of your hand. You really want to test it on your chin, and so you can match it to your neck and your chest skin. So now I'm going to show you guys the demo of how I apply this from bare skin, and I want to show you guys how it looks when you put it on, and I will come back and talk to you guys more about the review. First things first, I'm going to be priming my skin using the BECCA Backlight Priming Filter. This primer is my absolute favorite. You guys know I rave about it all the time, and it's actually in the same packaging as the foundation. So I think they were kind of meant to go together to kind of enhance the glowing properties. So I'm just going to be taking one dollop of this. Sometimes I actually like to use this primer alone because I just think it gives the skin a nice little dewy base, but enough of that. Then I'm going to be taking the foundation. I am today mixing the shades beige and medium. So what I like to do is I take the medium first, and I use mostly medium, so I expel about half of the dropper of medium, and then I take beige because I just want to mix a little bit of that, and then put it on the back of my hand just a little bit, and then I will mix them together on the back of my hand. You can see the consistency is very liquidy. It's already running down my hand, so they mix together very, very nicely. It's already got a hydrating consistency. And then once I mix them up, I just go ahead and dot them on my skin. Today I will actually be going in with concealer underneath my eyes once I'm done this demo, but if I wasn't, of course I would dot it all the way up. And then I just take my beauty blender and I start buffing that into the skin. You can see it blends very, very easily, but it also has kind of a wet look to it. That is one layer on right now. This side of my face, I'm gonna just put a little bit more in this area to cover some acne scars that I have. But this is just one very thin layer, but as you can see, you can almost see it looks like I'm wearing a cheekbone highlighter. It stays very wet, especially when you first put it on. It stays with a dewy look. It is going to dry down a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more to areas that I need. So I'll mix a bit more on the back of my hands. So yeah, coverage-wise, this is basically as good as it gets because this is when I kind of build it up to more of a medium coverage, a true medium. But I would say it's a light to medium coverage. I think it's definitely more than enough coverage for me. I don't need to go full coverage every day. I like actually to have it look like natural skin, and I think you can kind of tell that it does look a lot like natural skin. If I turn, you can see again the light bounces off it really, really nicely. It literally looks like I've already got highlighters on my face, like down the center of my face, on my cheekbones. It looks like I'm already wearing highlighter, and it will continue to look like this too throughout the day. I think that's a really cool effect, so that's why I like to wear this foundation a lot. Just to school and work, I don't powder it. I leave it like this because I like that kind of multi-dimensional luminous finish. The only area that I do set is my small line, so I will set those if I'm wearing this foundation, but I won't set anywhere else on my face just because my small lines tend to eat foundation. Okay, so let me throw you back into the review. Personally for me, on a day when I'm filming because I have these hot lights, or if it's a long day or I'm going out at night and I might sweat or I might get humid, what I do is I powder just the under eyes here, and I also powder just under my contour and my smile lines. And then everything else, like my forehead, my chin, around here is not set or anything. So I'm kind of having a mixture of powder face and not powder face today. So hopefully like on my forehead, you should still see the luminosity and down the center of my face. If you do have oily skin, this is something I would recommend giving a sample to. When I powder it though, it does go to a full semi-matte finish if I use a translucent setting powder, and then that way it is totally indestructible. It doesn't go anywhere. So maybe if you have oily skin and you like the more natural look, then that is the way you could wear it if you're super oily and concerned about the dewiness. Now, of course, they have marketed this foundation as looking like natural skin. I will say it does look very natural, but for me, any foundation, even if it says it looks like natural skin, you can tell that there's something on your skin. But I do think that this is a great, more natural finish foundation, and it doesn't look too made up. It really does look true to BECCA. Like, when I got this promo image, I was like, I want to look like these girls in the image because they just look so radiant and glowing, and I think it really does achieve that nice, glowing, radiant complexion. Also, this is one of those foundations that feels very light on the skin. It feels light all day on the skin. For me, sometimes after a long day of wearing foundation, I definitely want to take it off my skin because you can kind of feel it. It feels a little bit tight or itchy after a while. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but this foundation is very light. It's very undetectable and lightweight. You can't feel it, and I don't get the itch that I really need to take it off at the end of the day because I hate that feeling when you're out and you're just like, oh, I want to get this foundation off. Now, like I said, there are only 8 shades. I'm going to swatch all of these for you now. One thing I will say is that the deeper shades, my sister, I have an older sister who I wanted to gift one of these because of course I can't use the deepest shades, but the deeper shades are quite orangey and red. We couldn't find a great match for her, so I just found them a little bit too warm, which I do think a lot of companies have trouble with finding that perfect undertones for deeper skin, but I do think that these are flexible enough to work for a wide variety of skin tones. I just think that it doesn't cover exactly every skin tone, so I would hope that they would come out with more shades soon because I know BECCA loves to cater to women of all colors and all shade ranges, and it's something that they do really well in their other foundations I've read. So yeah, you guys, that is it. I definitely think it's a hit for a great everyday foundation, or for someone who doesn't like to look like they're wearing a lot of makeup. Or even if you just want something very glowy and natural, if you have dry skin and you need something moisturizing, this is a fabulous foundation. I definitely think you should look into it because I have just been loving it so much. But that is all I can pretty much say about it for now. If you guys are going to try it, let me know in the comments below. I will leave a link to it in my information box. And of course, if you do have oily skin, leave a comment below if you've tried this because I would love to see how it works for oily skinned girls as well. So yeah guys, that is that. I wanted to make sure I got this review out because a lot of you guys did request my thoughts on this foundation. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will speak to you guys really soon. Bye!